down here? What do you see about some of the people? What's the culture down here? What are some things that I see from your need? And that's what we want to listen to as well, so we can adjust and try to make some of those partnerships. We've got a pollinator garden that's going in here. Like I said, a walking path. There might be some different opportunities to embellish on some of that as well. Or even it's just out doing some programs, doing some more with the Delta Fair. Maybe you have some larger community events in Kennett that happen on a regular basis that we can try to make some future impacts in. So with that being said, I have a couple packets, if I could give them to you today, that have some of the resources that we have, some of the contact information of some of the local staff you would engage in. And then also, with that, I brought a couple trees. It's just here you go, have a good time. And if you want them and you want to put them in somewhere in your community or your parks or school or whatever you want, it's something I just wanted to say thanks for your time and attention today. I want to give something back to you and just be able to start that discussion.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Second?
Yeah.
Okay. I know you got a lot going on. Big meeting. So with that, thank you.
What kind of trees are they?
So I have an overcup oak, which is a type of white oak, and it's a bottomland species. And then I also have a black gum, which is a black tupelo, and has some really pretty scarlet foliage for the fall. One of them's a nice big shade tree. It's probably a 8-foot tall tree. There's some pretty big pots, so I can just leave them if someone wants to say, go forth and do good, and have them planting in the ground.
Okay. I guess you need some help getting it. It's time to...
I'll take care of it. I'll just drop them off here.
Okay.
1109.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The black gum have the sticker balls like a...
No, it doesn't. It has these little blue berries that are actually good for birds and small mammals. But most of the scarlet foliage is something that's just a really pretty fall color people tend to like out of it. Yeah, and that's a good question when you talk about appropriate species, tripping hazards, hazard assessment. I mean, those are things whenever you're thinking about some of those things, and that's why I wanted to look at your parks to see what is your tree population now, what is endemic here, what is native here already, and how can we continue to build upon that.
Okay. If you have time to stay, it'd be great to get a picture with you afterwards, or are you going to be in the area later on this week?
I can stick around.
Okay.
That's fine.
That'd be great.
Okay. Sweet.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Actually, Jennifer, we'll borrow you for just, we're going to excuse ourselves for just a minute talking about that grant.
Okay.
If you all don't mind, I'll be back.
All right. Next, we have the approval of the city ordinance on the in-city billing on tirades.
Oh, we don't have an ordinance.
We don't have an ordinance. Okay. Sorry. The ordinance on jig breaks.
Just to give us the background, this is an ordinance which is being promoted by MoDOT. We have an ordinance that prohibits the use of jake brakes in the city. This alters that a little bit, and that allows jake brakes if they have adequate mufflers. And the good thing about that, if we pass the ordinance with this language in it, MoDOT will supply the signs that go into the city limits. So they will supply and erect the signs. So first reading is an ordinance requiring adequate mufflers on commercial vehicles using compression braking devices in the city of Kennett.
Motion.
Second. All in favor? Bill and then yes. All in favor? All right.
Second reading, an ordinance requiring adequate mufflers on commercial vehicles using engine compression braking devices in the city of Kennett. And engine compression braking devices are jack brakes. You just can't say that.
Okay.
Motion.
Okay. All right. All in favor? Roll call.
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay. All right, mayor's report. Over the next, few weeks, no, we got, hang on, yeah, sales.
Yeah,
I was like, something was missing here.
yeah, sales,
Sales tax, there we go.
you have an ordinance in front of you which provides for a public safety sales tax of 1/4 of 1%. I think that's all the city has room for. But first reading is the ordinance imposing a sales tax of 1/4 of 1% and calling a special election in the city of Kennett, Missouri on the question of whether to impose said sales tax for the purpose of providing revenue for the operation of the public safety department of the city.
Motion. All in favor? Okay.
Second reading, an ordinance imposing a sales tax of 1/4 of 1% and calling a special election in the city of Kennett, Missouri on the question of whether to impose a said sales tax for the purpose of providing revenue for the operation of the public safety department of the city.
Motion. Okay. All right, roll call?
Yes. Yes.
And that election will be in April 23, regular municipal election.
Okay. All right. Now then, mayor's report. As you just heard, the city, we are 100% sales tax based on the city. And there's a 1/4 cent left on the sales tax that we can bring in. You know, Christmas season is right around the corner. Well, Halloween's over with, Thanksgiving's coming up. So shopping in Jonesboro may be fun, but it does your city no good. Shopping in Paragould, Cape Girardeau, everything else does no good for your city. That shopping online does do your city good. We did pass a usage tax. You're paying it, you passed it, so the city's able to collect it. Some of the smaller towns that have not passed that yet are not receiving that usage tax, even though their people are buying stuff online, they're not being able to collect that back into. At the last report, we were only $5,000 ahead of last year's budget. We don't have this last month's budget numbers in yet, but even though there's only $5,000 difference, everything is 10 to 15% higher this year than it was last year. So we're already in the hole. You know, gas used to be, $1.50. It's $3.28 today. So everything keeps going up, and that's gas. That's not, a lot of the fire trucks and city trucks all run on diesel. So that's, quite a bit higher. So Chief Wilson, Chief Lance here are going to be bringing out information to the public and champion this aspect to get the information out there on why it's needed, so that whenever you go to the polls, you're going to the polls knowing what is needed and not just by rumor. And because that leads me straight into our next thing. It's, next Tuesday is election day. And, here's a sample ballot for Tuesday, that we are a democracy. We're not a dictatorship. You're allowed to go and vote. Last time I heard, there were 6,800 registered voters, a little over that, in the city limits of Kennett. Last election, I don't think we broke 1,000 people that voted. And that's very disheartening this is your election system. This is how you let your voice be heard. So you got everything from, United Senator seats, auditor, representatives. We've got several unopposed, but even if they're running unopposed, it's still, they're out there and they're running. They're putting themselves out there. You have 4 different amendments. Do you wish to amend the Constitution, allow the General Assembly to override the current constitutional restriction on state investments by the state treasurer? Amendment 3 is, do you want to basically legalize marijuana for recreational use? Amendment 4, shall Missouri Constitution be amended to authorize laws passed before December 31st, 2026 to increase minimum funding for a police force established by the state board? And then the Amendment 5, shall Missouri National Guard, currently under the Missouri Department of Public Safety, be its own department? Then you also have a constitutional covenant. Shall there be a revised for amendment to the Constitution? So these are all just different aspects that we're still a week away. Just about everybody out there either has a smartphone or a computer. If you don't know what that amendment that you're going to be voting on is, there's plenty of information out there. Go by, take a look at it, read it, and then, next Tuesday, show up. If you don't think you're going to be able to make it, you can vote absentee ballot. You can go right up here to Mr. Hampton's office, go inside there, show your ID, and be able to vote. So please, get out and vote. And so please, use your ability next Tuesday and learn. You've got another week to learn what's out there, and be a democracy and go out there and vote. Please. All right. With that, public comment.